Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really simple but super fun card. I have to say, I haven't seen this bird's eye view, any of the birds, colored in anything except the 2023-25 in colors, which in my opinion are kind of drab. So I went a different route and I am using Petunia Pop. This is Pretty in Pink for the background. We have Summer Splash, and actually I don't think there's any Pool Party. No, Pool Party is for the lightest part. And a little teeny bit of Peach Pie there for it. So this is a pretty fun card, but also really simple. I just used Simply Said to put the Miss You in, and I did that in Petunia Pop, which is a really bright and fun color. It's a kind of a lightish purple, purpley pink. I like it a lot. It's very pretty. And then for the background, I'm going to show you, we actually did this for Stamp Club, and this isn't what I intended it to look like. I kind of wanted it to look a little bit lighter, but the ladies at Stamp Club liked the way it looked, but I just wanted it to be more uniform across. So I'm going to try and do that for you as we go, but I will say we need to stamp off when we do it. So we did the background bird in Smoky Slate, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp this bird first because we do need to be able to fussy cut it and it needs to dry. So I'm just going to get this out. This is just a piece of the, oh, I always want to call it a dahlia, but I don't think it is zinnia. This is the zinnia paper that is in the online exclusive. So this is just a little scrap piece that I have. I feel like it's about 1.5 inches by 4. See if I'm right. 1.25 inches. I was close. So 1.25 inches by 4. You do need a panel of Whisper White for the inside and for the front, since it's a dark color card and you wouldn't really be able to see you could probably see your writing, but I think it looks better with something on the inside. So this is going to be for our stamping. This piece is going to be for the inside, but I want to just get a little scrap piece first so we can get started on our bird. So this looks pretty good here. So what we're going to do is, you can pick any bird that you like to do this, but you do want to put the glasses separately. So I'm going to just stick with the one I already did. This is, I think, the most used bird out of the stamp set. Well, for me anyway. So we have the bird and we just need the glasses. Now the key to the glasses is to make sure that you cut them out, but you can either leave them white. You could even color it in maybe with a little bit of light balmy blue. But for now, we're going to just stamp this in Memento ink. We're going to stamp the bird first. And you want to use Memento since we're going to use blends to color him in, or her, depending on what you want your bird to be. It's cute without the glasses as well, so you kind of go whatever route you want to go with there. And we're just going to pop those on. So this we're going to need to let dry. So we're going to set that on the side. And I'm going to move this on the side, and I want to grab my chamois towel that I have here, or whatever, microfiber cloth, and I'm going to just spray it with a little bit of mist because I don't want to start with stamping that in black by accident, because then it will be really dark. So I'm just going to clean off my stamp, and we are going to need to, and this is kind of where I didn't have this lined up for them correctly. What did I do with my, I had a whole bunch of scrap paper. Where did I put it? Let's get out some new old scrap. So I am going to go ahead and put this on a piece of scrap so I can go with the stamping off. So again, Smoky Slate, and our panel for the inside or the front would both be the same. It's 4 by 5.25. So we're going to just set this here, and I'm going to kind of pick a spot in the center and start. So we're going to just ink, stamp off, and I was kind of trying to make it so they were like a little bit lighter, and this is where I kind of went a little rogue. Same thing again. I was trying to keep them somewhat in a line, and I didn't, because I also stopped stamping things off. So that's kind of where it went a little sideways, but I think it's still fine. It's just, I guess sometimes when you're going for the perfection of a look and you don't get it, then you don't like the way it looked in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a few more feet up here. And then I'll add just a couple little heads at the bottom. So you kind of want it so you're looking like a bunch of gray birds. If you wanted to, you could make it much more straight. A bunch of gray birds, but then the bird that you have is standing out in a bright, bold color. So the way I originally saw this was on a stamp set that said "There's no one like you," which I thought was really cute, but I don't happen to have that stamp. So that's why we went this direction. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my piece of scrap paper on here. And the reason I have this out and not the sticky mat underneath is because we are going to color with the blends. And if you have any type of a sticky mat, you don't want to use the blends on it because it permanently stains. It's very hard to get the ink off. So I just have this little white piece underneath for that purpose. So then I have the Miss You stamp that I'm going to just pick up. And I'm going to ink it. And I just kind of went off to the bottom side. This is in Petunia Pop, so teeny bit crooked, but no worries. And then we're going to put this on the side, and we're going to start coloring in the bird. All right, so you want to start with your darker color. That's what I do anyway, because I think it works better that way. So I'm going to start with the dark Petunia Pop, and I am going to use the bullet tip just because this is such a small image. So I'm going to start on the outside and the inside, kind of where it would overlap. Same here. And then while that's still wet, I'm going to go in with the brush tip on the light. And then I'm going to go back one more time and just bring it a little bit more dark on the edge. And I want to show you something too. Now, if you happen to have this, and some people do, but maybe some people don't use it very often, this is the lifter, the color lifter. So I'm going to just take the brush tip end, and I'm going to just go in just a little bit in the center, just to give that a little bit lighter of an effect. And you can see it almost kind of works like, I guess if you were to say like a magic eraser type of thing. So I went in with that. Then I'm going to do the light part of the bird up top, which is Dark Pool Party. And I'm going to kind of just color in the whole thing minus the beak. Okay, and I'm even doing inside the glasses. Okay, like so. And then let me just hit the little beak really quickly. Peach pie for the beak. But then I'm going to bring in my light Summer Splash, and I'm going to just kind of hit the edges where his wings would be. So where it would create a shadow or two things touching where his glasses would be, you could put in a little bit. And then I'm going to grab my Pool Party once more, and I'm going to just kind of blend away from where I just was, just lightly. So we kind of bring out those dark edges. And it just really gives you much more depth for the shading. Hopefully you can see that. So then we're going to move down lower here, and I'm going to start this time with the dark Summer Splash, and I'm really going to hit under the belly and just where the wings would overlap the belly. And this color, when you color with it with dark, it really is similar to Bermuda Bay. So if you're looking still for a Bermuda Bay replacement, which I love that color, the dark Stampin' Blend of Summer Splash is pretty close to the lighter color of it. So I'm going to I'm trying to stay a little bit away from the belly. I don't want to make it too dark. And I'm going to do the same thing one more time. And I also just went over, this is the dark once more. I kind of added a little bit to these feather-ish looking areas. And then I'm going to go in once more, just lightly on the edge. And then I'm going to come in one final time with my color lifter and kind of just lift just a little bit in the center. Doesn't need to be a lot. Now this one, as opposed to when you use the blends, if you wipe it off, nothing comes off. Even though the tip might look a little bit stained, it doesn't actually ever put any ink back. So you can see that looks cute. And if you wanted to, I haven't done this before, but let's try. I'm going to grab just my light balmy blue. And since glasses technically would have like a little tint, I'm just going to put a little bit. We'll see if we like it better one way or the other. And when we cut it out, I kind of think I would like, I mean, come on. First of all, we don't really see birds with glasses, but I kind of think I'm going to like the other way better. Let me just grab a pair of snips and we will cut out our friend here. I kind of was a little bit generous with the feet. As you can see on this one, I just left the whole inside there. So I kind of did that part first. I just went straight across where the feet were. And then I kind of tried to somewhat give a little bit of definition, but I also didn't want to accidentally cut one of the feet or the tip of the wing off. So what I try to do is cut and just move my paper instead of moving my scissors. So it's almost like as if you are familiar with, and I cut off his hairs, that was an accident, if you were to be mitering. So if you were to use a miter saw. And actually now that the balmy blue dried back a little bit on that alcohol marker, it is a little bit lighter, and I do kind of like it a little better. So let me know what you think in the comments, because it's just very subtle there. So we're gonna put these couple things together. Now I do have a ribbon that I'm using, and quite honestly, I have a hard time. I haven't bought ribbon in a really long time. I'm very proud of myself because I have so much ribbon, it's not even funny. This is gray granite, and I think it's 1/4 inch shimmer ribbon. So it's got like almost a sparkle effect to it. This may be retired, but I just grabbed something because I felt like it needed something, because just with this and this, it wasn't enough. So I added this little strip of ribbon, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm just going to put my paper down, kind of try to keep it straight. It doesn't have to be 100% precise. And then what I did is I used my tear and tape, because this is the exact size of the ribbon. Now I will tell you one thing, you may have a couple little tiny spots that hang out. So if you wanted to use something smaller, I do also use these tear and tapes. They're made by Sukwang. I don't know if they still are in business. I've had these for a super long time, but they make a really, really thin one. You can see how thin it is. This is probably 1/8 of an inch. They make wider ones. They have a lot of different sizes. I'm sure 3M probably carries them as well, but I'm going to just line this up. I'm trying to stay on this one line here that I see on my, nope, that's crooked. Right there. And I'm just pressing this down, and I'm going to just rip, because I don't want it to go around, because then it's going to add too much bulk. So I am literally just going to the edge of the DSP, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually even going to go so far as to just snip so it's right at the edge. You do need to press it, otherwise when you take your release paper off, the tape will come with it. So just give that a press, and then you're going to lift this off. So then you have, I'm not sure if you can see that there or not, but yeah, you have that strip. And then you're going to just take your ribbon and lay it right on top. And you don't want to pull too tight, because you don't want your DSP to bend one way or the other. You just want to try your very best to just lay it down flat, and then trim that piece off. And that's it. So all we're going to do now is just assemble our card. So we have our base of Petunia Pop, 4 1/4 by, I'm sorry, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I'm just going to hit this with my, oh, I thought that was my bone folder. Here it is. Hit this with my bone folder. Okay. And we're going to layer this together. So I'm going to layer this on first. Then we'll put this to the card. Then we'll pop our bird on with a couple dimensionals. So trying to just be, what I actually did with this one, the reason it is in that direction is because I was trying to cover up something I didn't like. So it's not really precision placement for this. You just want it to be straight. But I was trying to cover up a mess that I made, so that's why mine was up probably a little higher than I would have put it otherwise. And I'm going to put this on here. And then we're going to just put a couple dimensionals on our little bird. And we're all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this card today. It was pretty simple, I think, for the most part. I mean, coloring with blends, I think some people think is a little bit more of a challenge than it really is. With practice, they actually are really simple to use, but you do just have to give yourself a lot of grace, because I feel like sometimes people think it looks terrible, but honestly, once it dries back with the alcohol, it really does change the look of what you've done. So if you're really unhappy with it, you know, go get yourself a cup of coffee or a snack or something. Maybe you're hangry. Maybe you need a delicious sip of something, and then come back, and I guarantee you'll probably be like, huh, it doesn't really look so bad after all. The only other thing you could do if you wanted to, and again, this is optional, is if you felt like you needed to put a little shading under where the bird is standing. But again, we have a bird wearing glasses, so really on this card, I think we've suspended reality, unless you are maybe a Tweety Bird fan from Bugs Bunny. I can't even think of any other birds that wear glasses in anything that I've seen, even growing up in a child in the 80s, which there were plenty of. So if you would like to get any of the supplies to make this card, you can click on the description below here in YouTube. I have all the products listed. You just have to click on the link. If you would like to know the measurements for this, there's also a link below for the blog post. I try to do that for everyone, but there's not anything fabulous there now. It's literally just pictures, measurements, and then there are also the links for the product below, because quite honestly, I'm not sure how many people read the blog, which is fine. You have plenty of other things to do, but at least if you're trying to get something there, it should be there to find. If you haven't already, I would love for you to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Share this with your friends. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment box below. I do read each and every one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.